Hi, I'm Donald Turner. By way of introduction, I want to start out by saying that in February of 2017, I placed a video on YouTube with the intentions of helping the professing atheist to understand that he or she was a part of a faith-based religion. While the video received its fair share of views, few if any professing atheists were helped by that video. Basically, it will be reworked into a series of smaller, more understandable videos. This is the first in that series. The reason for the lack of success of that video were varied. First, I tried to cover too many subjects in the 15 minutes allotted by YouTube. Neither I nor anyone else can reverse years of atheistic training in 15 minutes. This will take some time. Second, I failed to recognize my target audience. I targeted the devout or fanatical atheist when I should have targeted the middle-of-the-road or casual atheist. And third, I used humor in a fashion that was not found to be humorous by my actual audience. All of those inadequacies are being addressed in these shorter, simpler videos. Now then, before getting into the actual subject of this video, let me be clear. If you are a casual or a middle-of-the-road atheist and you want help, email me your one specific problem related to belief in Jesus Christ, and I will answer you as soon as possible. Note, this costs you nothing, and I will not use your name in a future video or in any type of posting. I may, however, use your question to help others, but I will not use your name. And I will be as kind and courteous as the message that I receive. There are two stipulations. First, ask one specific question. I will not answer 20 questions and in so doing write your college term paper. And second, useless, argumentative, hostile, and or sarcastic comments are simply deleted. You will not get a response. Last thing before beginning. At no point in these videos will you be presented with proof that Jesus Christ is the Son of the Most High God. Belief in Jesus Christ is based on faith, and that's not a bad thing. This is a fundamental of the Christian religion, and that's not a bad thing either. So, for today's subject, atheism and its origins counterpart, evolution, is it science or is it faith-based religion? And to be clear, we will only get a start today. And it's unlikely that you will become a Christian by watching this video, so relax. The idea is to get you to start thinking about your situation. More will come in the future. Now then, to be science, as the atheist suggests, atheism must meet certain qualifications. First, what is science? The 5th edition of the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language defines science as the observation, identification, description, and theoretical explanation of phenomena and or such activities related to natural phenomena. And I admit that very little help is derived from the dictionary definition, but including a secular definition is my attempt to be at least fair if not unbiased. No one studying religions is unbiased. So what would help? Let's think back to high school science class or poke around on the internet to find a better definition that actually means something. Doing so, we find from a variety of sources that science must be testable, falsifiable, must make a prediction, must be repeatable, must cite the action or cause being evaluated, and most importantly, science must be observable. While we might try to be flexible on at least some of this, these are all deal breakers. And although I could not find a clear statement in any science book or online, we need to add one more characteristic to our list. There has to be a stated reason to trouble ourselves with all of this. As to the action or cause, science uses the term vera causa. This is a $10 term which means simply that the cause of the event being investigated must be a sufficient cause or a known verifiable cause that could actually explain the event. We cannot make up something just because we do not know. From the outset, we have a real problem that most scientists will acknowledge. Science is of little use in the study of one-time events. This violates the repeatability characteristic just mentioned. Whether you believe in the biblical creation account as I do, or if you believe in evolution as a subpart of atheism, or any of a very short list of origins proposed by others, science cannot help you. But to be fair, let's first see if the biblical creation account meets the standard of science. The Bible teaches, and I believe, that 6,000 odd years ago, God created everything ex nihilo. Ex nihilo is another $10 word which means from nothing. By the power of His spoken word, God created everything, and that includes the stars, planets, moons, and especially the earth and all of the plants and animals contained therein, including man, who is not an animal. Man is a distinct creation made in the image of God. Remember, this was 6,000 odd years ago. We, that's Christians, believe this account of origins because God preserved the information in a variety of printed languages ultimately handed down to us in the English Bible, also known as the Authorized Version or King James Bible. For us, this is more than enough proof to allow us to believe any unmentioned detail by faith. I freely admit that none of that is science, and few, if even one Christian, even cares. And I said I'd be fair. From an objective perspective, the biblical creation account only meets 3 of the 7 criteria of science. And one of those is just barely. The just barely is predictability. We can make predictions, but those predictions are impossible to verify. Next, as to the other points, we have a reason to investigate because we would like to end this so-called debate once and for all. And lastly, we also have a vera causa. God, by His very nature, can create and or manipulate matter by the power of His spoken word. For the atheist, this is ludicrous. But be patient. You're not being asked to believe anything just yet. Now then, the atheist believes in evolution. And while most people are familiar with at least the highlights of the idea, they skip over the most important part, as I have until now. The evolution of existing things does not explain the origin of existing things. We are only discussing origins at the moment. In the future, we will look at evolution itself. To benefit the atheistic viewpoint, let's further explain the scientific method. To this end, I will propose a simple situation unrelated to the current subject, and I will design an experiment to test the vera causa, or actual cause. And I made all of this up for your benefit. Number 1, the reason to investigate. 2 cars collide with each other in a vacant parking lot, and considerable damage was done in spite of the fact that both drivers swear under oath that they were each driving only 10 miles an hour. There were no disinterested third-party witnesses or witnesses of any kind. Number 2, this event is testable. We can get 2 more cars of the same make and model. If necessary, we could rent a building and duplicate the conditions of heat, moisture, lighting, and virtually anything else. Number 3, this is falsifiable. We recreate the conditions and one of 2 results will occur. Similar or differing damage will be inflicted on the 2 test vehicles. The point, one or the other will occur, but not both, so we will learn something. Number 4, we can make a prediction as to the results. The lawyers for both parties in our case make predictions favoring their client's best interests. Number 5, this is repeatable. In our hypothetical case, let's say a third party, the parking lot owner, becomes involved and is also implicated in some way. He's not paying a dime until he sees the test for himself. This can be done. We can repeat everything in this hypothetical case. Number 6, the cause in this case is somewhat known. The impact of the cars caused the damage, but the test or experimental crash will hopefully reveal which car or driver is at fault. Number 7, it must be observable. Our test or experiment will make no difference if it is not observed and recorded in some way. Today, typically, cameras would record the most minute details of such an experiment. Now, although crashing cars and renting buildings are expensive endeavors, as an illustration, everyone should clearly see the steps involved in a scientific experiment. Now then, how many of these 7 basic scientific points can be used to design an experiment to investigate an origins event that supposedly occurred 20 billion years ago, as suggested by the atheist? Number 1, we have a reason to investigate because for the atheist, his other origins options are unpalatable for whatever reason. Number 2, it is not testable because it is not possible to even wildly speculate as to any of the physical conditions prevalent 20 billion years ago. Number 3, as it is not testable, obviously it is not falsifiable. Number 4, we can make predictions, but those predictions are untestable, just like Christianity. Number 5, in no way is the proposed experiment repeatable. Number 6, there is no known acting vera causa that we can verify or even test that has a history of creating planets and life forms. Number 7, nothing about this proposed experiment could be observable. So, how did atheism pass the scientific test? The commonly rehearsed account of atheistic origins gets 2 out of 7. Curiously, these are 2 of the 3 discussed previously in our brief analysis of the biblical creation account. Missing from the atheism roster is vera causa. Nothing suggested by the atheist viewpoint has ever even hinted at a genuine cause that could account for the creation of planets and life forms from nothing. But don't hit the panic button just yet. You're not being asked to believe in Jesus Christ yet. If atheism is not science, what is it? This is where most of you will switch over to watch music videos. But first, atheism and Christianity share another common trait. While neither system of origins is scientific, few, if any, adherents to either system even care. Why? Because we, that's both of us, believe these things by faith. For the Christian, from a small child to the granny sitting in a nursing home reading her Bible, we care not in the least what the scientific community has to say about any of this. And that's not an insult, that's just how it is. The little child believes because a childlike faith is all that the Bible requires. Granny believes in the same way, but she has seen way too much. So she further believes because God's words have not failed her once in her lifetime, and she's not changing sides at this late hour. Forgetting for the moment that many professing atheists are really just mad at God, a unique subject to be discussed another day, the remainder believe in a thing that they cannot see or verify, just like the Christian. In fact, they so intensely believe in this system of origins that the fanatical atheist does not have to encourage the middle of the road or casual atheist at all. Just like the small child or the granny sitting in the nursing home. To repeat, this level of belief without the slightest proof is called faith. Faith in unverified and unverifiable systems of origin is a fundamental part of every religion, which is to say, all religions address origins in some fashion. In brief, for a religion to be taken seriously, it must answer 3 questions. Number 1, where did I come from? Number 2, why am I here? And number 3, after I die, then what? On the other hand, you cannot discuss these 3 points without admitting your faith because you have no proof. It works like this. You will tell me what you believe, I will tell you what I believe, but no witnesses are alive to testify of any of it. No observation means no science. Neither faith nor religion are bad things, but faith can be unfounded and religion can be corrupted. It is time to be honest and admit that the study of origins, regardless of which of the discussed systems is your favorite, is an inherent part of the study of religion, not science. The purpose of this first video is to get you to start thinking. We have settled nothing, I admit that. But Where does your religion fit into all of this? Until next time.